Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you again for coming to the speaker slot today. My name is Jamie O'Dwyer, and I'm the head of global sales for digital sales for Zendesk. I've been lucky enough to be at Zendesk now for 7 years, and we've had a lot of learnings over that time, specifically when we think about the passion of product-led growth. Zendesk as a company, we've gone through a lot of growth in the last number of 2 years, thinking specifically about the perceptions of AI and CX. And I'm here to run through with you, sorry about this, specifically around, I suppose, some of the trends that we're seeing in the marketplace, specifically when you think about digital sales. Me as a sales leader, I wake up every day thinking about how customers are adopting and using our product as well, both from a prospect and from a customer side of things. I suppose I'm interested to know in the room, who do we have here today that maybe has responsibility for customer service right now in their organization? Just by a quick show of hands. Cool. So good to see a few people here as well. Out of the few people that are here, maybe keep your hands up. Have you already used like the likes of ChatGPT and other tools to help you create or review content that you put out in the market? It's funny, isn't it, how quickly we have already adapted this technology, specifically with that. And you can see it in action here on the right. But there's no doubt about it, this is a powerful technology. And personally, I've been fascinated by the speed and progress that we've seen this grow. As a sales leader, I'm constantly thinking about how can I bring this into my work, both from a sales perspective, but also from a customer perspective as well. And how can we bring this technology to that forefront? And I've really been trying to absorb as much information as I can about the practical uses and how wide range the technology will spread. What's really interesting is how some commentators in our space wanted it to slow down and feel it can destroy certain job functions, but equally others feel it will enable and drive productivity and complement some of these jobs that someday we might think will disappear. And look, there's no question, it will revolutionize what we're doing. And a lot of functions and job roles that we have today will change because of it. And I was listening to a recent podcast, and the founder of a startup whose business is an AI content generator, and he was stating that roles like researchers or freelance copywriters won't be eradicated, but this technology will make them more efficient by used by marketing teams, business development reps, where before they've had to research a ton of websites and other various media resources to decipher like compelling narratives and really take that time to try and understand the person they were talking to. I think we're already seeing it out there. Like, I think everyone has LinkedIn messages that feel like they're almost being written specifically for them. I think that's what we're starting to learn and understand and it's the nuances behind that that we're trying to decipher a lot. And another really interesting article I read was how AI is even helping people with loneliness, with a startup called Replica, which is an app which helps you build relationships with an AI avatar. All seems very scary out there. But the idea is that it helps people who suffer with loneliness, and how the founder of this Replica's own experience of losing a dear friend at the age of 20 gave her the idea to upload all their chat into generative AI in order to stay connected. And in some way, like, this was something that came from a personal passion of theirs, but it's something that we're continuing to see in the market. This kind of use case being put into place about how AI is being adapted. And like this today, the bit I want to talk to you about is obviously this in terms of CX trends, this report that we put out every year. And this is like some key learnings from our latest report, which is 4,700 consumers, which explores how consumers expect AI to transform service. And I'll be highlighting a few findings during this session. There's a lot more information and insight in the full report. So at the end of this, we're going to put up a QR code. You'll be able to go in, access it, download it. And at a high level, what we heard is the consumers are seeing AI becoming more prevalent in their daily lives. And they also are becoming more comfortable interacting with it. So there are some important stats we need to kind of ground ourselves in to become familiar with and to set the scene. AI is a business reality, and your customers expect it. 79% of consumers we surveyed for our 2023 CX Trends report believe that AI has become a crucial part of modern customer service, while 66% expect companies of all sizes to use AI for customer experience. So we can no longer ignore it. It's here now, and it's here to stay, so we need to embrace it and use it and differentiate as well at the same time. Now, as many of you will know and be aware, from anyone that's dealing with CX, there's a customer service productivity challenge that we're always trying to address. And what I mean by that is, well, customer service agents can get bogged down in that repetitive tasks, password resets, shipping details, and all those returns things. And we've built lots of good technology around how we address that in that kind of repetitive way. Well, AI gives us the biggest opportunity for small businesses to control costs and gain that competitive edge that's typically reserved for larger companies because of their economies of scale. And that's just been totally true. It goes without saying that AI is going to have a tremendous impact on CX. It's an industry where there's a lot of manual, mostly repetitive work, and also where the turnover is very high. We're doing the same tasks over and over again, replying to the same queries. If you look at the first column here, we are here, but we'd like to be in that second column, where we know that it's totally focused on solving complex customer requests. Just diving into some of the trends that we've seen, and I'll cover 5 in total. And we'll probably put them down really as being more so expectations that consumers now have more than ever. And for us, what we saw is with the first one was consumers believe AI will completely redefine and evolve personalization by delivering real-time, truly tailored recommendations to them at every point of the journey with a company. And consumers made it clear that they want this. 71% of respondents want AI to create more personalized experiences, and they understand that businesses will be using consumer data and customer data to create this personalization. But there is a trade-off. They still expect companies to use their data in ethical and responsible ways. Only 21% of consumers strongly agree that businesses are doing enough to protect their identity and information. It's clear consumers want more personalization, but business needs to be thoughtful about how they're delivering more personalized experiences. Getting on to the second expectation, we have consumers have a clear idea that make experiences more seamless for them. The reality is, many consumers do not feel like they're getting what they need from their experiences today. For example, only 35% of consumers in our survey feel companies do a good job of creating seamless experiences between their store and the website. And what's really interesting is that consumers believe AI can solve this problem, especially around improving the handoff experience between bots and agents. Nearly 3 out of 4 consumers say the handoff process between bots and humans needs improvement, and they believe AI can help. By doing this, things like summarizing their issues when being transferred to a human agent. So lots of perceived potential for AI to make services feel that more seamless and personal to their use case. Consumers want AI as well to understand their emotions. And this is the big change that we're starting to notice more and more, and something we've been focusing on at Zendesk. And it is the use and the understanding to create better experiences, but they draw a line in the sand at AI mimicking or portraying human emotions. So it's a really fine line and balance, understanding how to make it seem conversational, the tone, and dealing with the person and persona that you're working with. So we're at that really interesting inflection point. Almost 2 in 3 consumers believe AI is getting better at understanding their emotions, and they want AI to use that understanding to better their experiences. They believe AI can now add a new layer of emotional intelligence to interactions that wasn't possible before. They also believe that AI is getting pretty convincing at displaying human emotions, but this is where they draw the line. They don't want AI to act like a human and totally replace that. In fact, they believe that they still having the access to a human and the human connection is going to be critical for their continued success. And that 81% of consumers say that having access to a human agent is key in maintaining their trust with any brand. And I think we'll all agree that this will probably continue to unfold over the next few years as these things get more sophisticated. But it's going to be really interesting to see how consumer expectations change in line with that as well. On to our fourth. Consumers believe AI will supercharge chatbot and voice AI communication. This is an interesting one, especially when you think about a more global business. I think that idea of voice communication in different markets is very different. But with AI now emerging, consumers realize that AI's conversational capabilities extend far beyond what many businesses are currently offering today. 2 in 3 feel AI has the potential to revolutionize the way that they communicate with technology. And furthermore, 78% of consumers are convinced that voice AI will make significant strides in that near future. And this is a major shift for us. Many of the chatbots and voice AI systems that consumers interact with today can answer only a narrow set of questions. And there's a very rigid process and conversation flow behind it as well. The AI consumers expect to engage with in the near future can actually have full, nuanced conversations to natural back and forth exchanges. So the question is, why now? Why do consumers believe that merging AI will supercharge communication? Well, it's largely driven by the buzz around generative AI and what brings us to our last consumer expectation. Consumers believe that generative AI is going to dramatically improve the depth and quality of responses they receive from their service teams. So as a reminder, generative AI essentially refers to AI that can create content, things like ChatGPT or DALL-E for images. Consumers are excited about generative AI's potential overall. So 62% expect to interact with it more often in the next year. And that number is only going to grow, expected to hit around the 85% who've already tried it. Consumers also believe that customer service will be a major place where they will interact with it. 2/3 of consumers predict that they will become an essential component in their experiences interacting with companies. Once again, that number is even higher among consumers who have already used it. So how do consumers think generative AI will impact their customer service experiences? First, consumers expect that the human agent will have generative AI to improve interactions. I challenge anyone in presentation to say generative AI numerous times. It's a tough one after a while. And then second, consumers believe that this will change the way they discover and access information. And lastly, they believe generative AI will instantly deliver accurate and tailored information to them at the right level of depth. Now, I suppose the thing about this in expectation setting is not just about then how do you apply it or how do you think about achieving those CX goals then behind it. So this is where AI has the potential to achieve that vision and goals for a lot of small businesses that we have out there as well. And we work on a day-to-day basis talking to our consumers and customers about this. So the first really being around agent empowerment and productivity. It helps maintain consistency across different markets and languages, especially if anyone here in EMEA markets, we all know how complex that can be. It reduces the long onboarding time of 4 to 5 months for each agent, which is a huge cost for any business, and keeps teams up to date in a remote setting while having product information and context that is accessible to everyone in the organization. On the efficiency side of things, we're seeing increases support teams' capacity, efficiency, and morale. It frees overwhelmed agents from providing routine support by reducing repetitive tasks, which you talked about. That is probably the number one thing that causes burnout in this industry, is going to be people dealing with the same thing over again when they want to be working on more of those complex tasks. It also reduces pressure on agents that are dealing with large tickets and call volumes, and it provides insights into what we can do to help automate and what absolutely needs to be escalated. On the deflection side, we increase the deflection rates by helping customers to find information in existing help centers. And we automatically handle a growing number of customer service requests in predetermined topics that we know we can deflect over and over again. And the last point around automation, the ability to automatically triage requests, because relying on customer self-assessment or asking agents to triage is not always ideal, as we know. And better distribute work and prioritize important requests during peak times. And this can all help to orchestrate what we know is to automate and what is needed then to escalate. And in essence, all of these points will also help with controlling costs. Like everyone, there are multiple levels of AI delivery. And I suppose in a lot of cases, people are probably still in that crawl walk stage. And you have to walk before you can run. Before you can deliver autonomous intelligence like CX, the best thing to do is start at the beginning and build a solid foundation. That's amazing value. There's amazing value in providing these basic levels of automation through gains in both CSAT. As we move to more advanced levels of automation, the results compound very quickly. And naturally, as we move up to that level 5, less human input is needed. And we're going to come back to the flowchart idea, but I want you to kind of ground in this as well. So at Zendesk, we're doing things differently. Using AI for CX isn't new to Zendesk. Many of you know that we've actually been leading the way in native AI. We've had over 250 million tickets improved with AI. We've saved 35.5 years of agent time and have a data set of over 18 billion tickets that our AI models can learn from. It's accessible to everyone. For me, this is the most important value really for any small business out there. It's not something that is not tangible for them to be able to get a sense of how they can implement an offer. And built on the world's largest CX data set, as we mentioned, we've got a lot of data there behind it that helps us understand how to address this. And then finally, the Zendesk AI is built on the CX, so you can understand your customers, what they want, how they're feeling, and understand their sentiment. So I'll leave you with this. This is the QR link for the CX trends that I mentioned as well. We do have a stand outside as well, and some of my colleagues are available to talk to you today. If you have any questions, please feel free to go up to the stand. And thank you for the time.